Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So welcome to the 25th Starknet All Core Devs call, and I'm Ayush, and it's great to see you all today. So we have a full agenda covering O13.5 operations, the upcoming O14.4 changes, Kinonative progress, client updates, and staking. But let's see what happens. So let's get started. So first, let's check in on the O13.5 mainnet deployment with Leo. So Leo, we missed your update on this topic 2 weeks ago, and now that like O13.5 has been running in production for about 3 weeks, so how has the overall stability been?
Um, yeah, so don't think there's much to say around the O13.4 and O13.5. I mean, most of the changes were in O13.4, and then O13.5 was just some pretty small things added on top. Operation is fine. There is not much to update there. All going good. Most at the moment, and also like the last few weeks and month and a half, most of the energy is around O14. So on that front, um, we have a tentative date for integration for Tuesday, but we uh, I'll write it when I'm more sure about that, probably Sunday, when we get closer to the date. But tentatively, that's the date. Um, I will
And
also, yeah.
and like I also wanted to know about the gateway investigation issues that you mentioned in like last to last call. Have they been resolved yet, or like what's the status with them?
I'm not sure which gateway issues you were referring to.
They were from the Slack messages that we were having in the Slack channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I think someone was not able to read them for some reason. Maybe like okay.
Um,
So
uh, and there were feeder issues around the upgrade. Um,
mhm.
1 month ago. But all that has been resolved. Those were issues related to the upgrade process. Um, so nothing to update on that. Um, Around O14, I will also share a first version of the pre-release notes. I circulated them like in DMs to the various teams. So I think pretty much everyone that needs to be up to speed is up to speed. But it was a pretty rough document. I'm hoping to clean it a little bit. Also, I don't think it will be final because there will be ongoing development while on integration. Um, um, so I can think of at least one thing that's still TBD about its behavior. So yeah, we'll update during integration on that. One thing that I want to remind or bring up also in this forum is something that I wrote in the Full Node collab about the split of URLs between feeder gateway and gateway. So this is going to happen in O14. We also have the structure of the URL ready, and I will also write them in the pre-release notes. So to refresh about this change, the gateway URL isn't going to change, but now the feeder will be located at a different URL. So all the code bases of the node, which I guess use the same prefix base URL and then add the routes after that, will need to change. It's I hope a small refactor on client teams side. So there's that. And then Another thing is we previously discussed of maybe doing an RPC 0.9 that gets rid of pending objects. We are not going to do that. Why? Because we still have support for pending objects, even if they will at some point disappear. I think it's better. We think it's better to not put too much into this version, which is already huge. So with this in mind, I hope that the changes that the nodes will need to do for O14 will be minimal, except the two URLs, and that we'll be able to release a version relatively fast, so that all the other players of the ecosystem which are affected by changes of this version will be able to have a node version to play with. Yeah, maybe.
Just a follow-up question, like why are we doing this change and like why is this happening? If you can give a background about this to everyone.
The split between URLs.
Yes.
So in O14, the biggest architectural change is that there will be more than one sequencer. So most likely will be 4 sequencer in production. This also means that the entry point of the gateway, which is like the post method to add transaction, will go to a load balancer between these 4 nodes and not through the centralized component in which the database of the feeder, for example, lives. So splitting the URLs means that we don't have to go first through the centralized component and then forward or redirect towards the other sequencer, but we can go directly to the sequencers. This also makes sense in with a view towards the future in which there will be no feeder gateway. You go directly to the nodes and not through a centralized database service. That's pretty much the rationale.
Like, will there be any behavioral changes in like pending blocks in this new model, or like it's going to be similar?
So changes of the pending blocks. There will be a pending block object. You like the feeder API for get block and get state update with pending will work. You get back like now a pending object. The main behavioral change is that at the moment the pending object is an always increasing block that the sequencer is constructing and publishes whenever an intermediate run ends. And it's strictly increasing, so the prefix of the block doesn't change. Those will be for sure in the final block. So this is the behavior right now of the pending block. In O14, the pending block will be the latest block that consensus agreed upon. So this will be either a block that's written immediately by consensus to the centralized component and will not have all the commitments like transaction commitments, event commitments, and the state commitment, because it's the task of another service to do that. So that can be the pending block. After those services finish, it will like transform in a usual block, and that will be latest. Or if your query happens when those services already finished and consensus started doing its internal work on the next height, you will simply get the latest block. So you either get the latest without the block hash or the latest with. That's what the pending block will be. So you won't have this behavior of I'm querying pending, I get 3 transactions, I'm querying pending, and I get this at the same height a block with 5 transactions. That's not gonna be there. But this should be sufficient to like guarantee all the logic that rely on pending block as today to work as well.
And is
Yeah.
there a timeline for this deployment?
Yeah, so hopefully on Tuesday we'll hit integration, and then it's less clear, but I can almost surely think of 1 month on integration, and then testnet will be discussed when we get closer.
Thank you for explaining these important changes, Leo. And the next part on our agenda is actually Cairo native implementation, but I see that Ariel is not present here.
Yeah, he's not here, but if you want, I can give an update on that.
So 2 weeks ago, actually, Ariel mentioned that the replay testing was progressing slower than expected. So what's the current status of this testing, if you could share?
No, it was simply like technical issues around deploying and using shadow environments to do the testing on. But
Do we have an updated performance metrics that we can share to people?
not yet. I would like the thing that is an actual update is we probably will start activating native on integration very soon, and testnet also very soon. Like let's run on integration a week, and then the week after starting on testnet. So this should give us better numbers. Like I don't want to simply say a random number that I'm not sure. But hopefully we'll have native at least on the testnets very soon. So that's the main update around that.
Thank you. So now let's hear from the teams, the client teams. So Christian, you mentioned last time that Malachat integration represents a crucial bridge for this consensus which we are doing. So how has the journey been like in this integration till now for Pathfinder?
It's progressing. We've actually started on multiple fronts. So both integrating Malachite and also finding out how to implement proposal validation within Pathfinder. So yeah, it is progressing, but we are still fairly early, so there are no real results yet. In addition, we made a small hotfix release last week that fixes a couple of bugs. One especially nasty involving some events missing from Starknet get events result from the Starknet get events result set. So we have advised all users to just upgrade to the latest release. And we are also working on the staking V2 attestation tool. We'll do a release shortly, I hope this week or maybe very early next week, that adds compatibility with the clear signing API that the Juno guys have implemented. And we have also fixed a couple bugs since our last release. So we would just release those two. And there's an ongoing discussion on the Node Collab channel whether or not we could just somehow add meaningful defaults for well-known Starknet contract addresses, like users have to hand configure the attestation contract address right now, which would be great if they didn't have to do. But unfortunately, we don't know the contract address for mainnet yet, so we can't just add a meaningful default right now.
Thank you, Christian. And then Rodrigo, you were investigating an estimate fee bug. Have you been able to resolve that issue?
Yeah, we had some issues and we have not an official release, but it's a pre-release for 0.14.4 that has this. So everyone if you're having this issue.
And how has the dynamic timeout implementation been working in practice now that you have it on running?
So we have implemented the timeout. We are currently using it to our things. Like for context for everyone, it's just when we had that problem, when we had like these huge blocks that many people were timing out when speaking with the feeder. So we put a dynamic window. Like usually Juno has 5 seconds timeout, and then it will ask again. Now with the dynamic, it's being more kind of like chill with the sequencer when asking for stuff. So yeah, it's all going good. Actually, by default with this, normally the timeout has increased from to 10 seconds. Usually, which is I don't know. It's interesting at least to me. I don't know. So for me, it will be perhaps translate as less traffic to the sequencer. So I don't know if it's meaningful at all, but it's cool. I mean, yeah. Also,
And what's the status for your staking V2 validator implementation?
yeah. So for staking V2, iron out some bugs. We had a bug last time, which was very hard to find, which basically we were using the wrong address, but now that's fixed. Now we're focusing on improving the UX as much as possible. So we are trying to make it easier for everyone, having configuration file, configuration through MV bars, configuration through flags to whatever. So it's trying to be as easy for everyone to use, adding uh, like checking that the node is that you are using the station tool with the node sync. We're working on that right now. So because many people don't have the node synced and then they're like, oh, I don't understand what is failing. So those kind of things. Working trying to make the tool as resistant as possible. I would like, yeah, you want to ask him?
You want to say something?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, this was my last question to you. If you want to add something, just
Yeah.
add.
So with the latest pre-release of Juno, we have dropped like experimental, still not still in testing phases, but we have we have support now for Juno for block building. They have the flags there. The way to use it is in the documentation. So if anyone wants to try it out, it's still not a reliable feature, right? But we have that. So yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you, Rodrigo. And I see that Nathan is not present, but if anyone from KSL would like to give an update on what's happening, so could I ask my questions to whom?
Yeah, totally. I can answer them if you want.
Okay. So, Nathan last time mentioned that you were establishing a pipeline to recover the latest Blockify version. So, how is that progressing, and where do things stand with your code-based stabilization efforts?
Yep. So merging our changes from our development network into Madara. These have been changes, therefore, for the 0.14 RPC update of mainnet. It's looking quite good. These have included changes to the sync pipeline. Those have mostly been efficient related to performance updates and gains in efficiency, and were slowly merging those changes back into the core code base. That's what it's looking at right now, is we're bringing these improvements back from that we found in our own DevNet into Madara core, and this is leading mostly to better performance right now.
I think we are running a little short on time now, so I'll move to the update which is given to me by Nathan on staking V2. So staking V2 mainnet launch is scheduled for May 13th internally, and the new version is already live on testnet. So if anyone feels there are any issues that they face, they can just post it in the channel. And there's a meeting after which the mainnet timeline will be decided. And in preparation for the upgrade, the second validator call will be on Tuesday, 29th April. So during this call, we'll discuss about the upcoming changes and explain how to prepare for this transition. So this is the update on staking V2. And then we can move to Malachite consensus integration. So Adi, last time you mentioned you were observing slower consensus finalization in heterogeneous networks. So have you made any progress in understanding what the issue was? I think Adi is not here today. Okay. So if no one is there from the team, then we can skip this topic as well. So we have covered all the items on the agenda other than this, and if anyone has any other topic that they want to discuss today, they can just raise their hands if they want. So I will say there's no other topic to discuss. So thank you everyone for the participation and updates today. These regular discussions are really valuable as we work on these important developments. And our next call will be on Thursday, May 8th. If you have any suggestions for the agenda, please reach out to me directly. And like every time, you'll have the recording of the call and the meeting notes on GitHub and YouTube respectively. And have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much. Have a good